So that is a smudge kit,
Thank
but
you.
there's also something else in there.
Oh, that's lovely. Ooh, very nice.
Almost.
I'm not giving mine up.
Yep. You're welcome.
Ali, your thoughts tonight? Council approved 7-3. It's another step forward. Is that how you take tonight? There was a lot of grilling going on and questioning and stuff, but at the end of the day, a step forward?
Absolutely. It was great news to hear that it had been approved. There was a fair amount of grilling. Unfortunately, that's out of my purview. Our focus now is rallying the folks that we've gathered together on the group to become vital roles in the Y success. We're having a membership drive, fundraisers potentially, corporate sponsors. Now is the time for the group to come together and really show up for what we all fought for.
Is it going to be, for everyone involved, is it going to be a little bit of a struggle, do you think, to get people interested in the bridge part of it when there's talk of the new Y, and does talk of a new Y putting the cart before the horse?
I don't think so. I think it's necessary that, we've learned from this experience, that we need to be taking the steps in the future to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. We've all seen all the counselors speaking about it, the group, Taryn, everybody, about how important it is for the social services of the city. So I don't think it's going to separate any type of current fundraising. I think everybody in the community knows that we need a solution now, and we also need to be looking to the future for what we do then.
Sounds like if everything comes together in terms of the city and YMCA partnership, and I know others are involved, we won't run into a situation where we get a bombshell development like we're going to close in a month, that those days would be over?
It seems that way. If I'm getting everything correctly, it seems that the city will have oversight into the financials of the YMCA, and they're putting things in place to make sure that if another dire situation was to arise, they know how to handle that, and they're being preemptive to make sure that doesn't happen.
Everyone good?
Yep.
Okay, so what's your takeaway from the council meeting this evening? I mean, you did get some pretty tough questions. There were some strong words, but what's your key takeaway from this evening?
Our key takeaway is definitely working with our strong partners, with the city, Y Canada, Y Ontario, with the strong leadership and oversight. Absolutely, we've got some hard-hitting questions, but those are the kind of questions that need to be asked on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, and I think council was doing their due diligence to make sure that they were making the right decision, and we were happy to be here to answer those questions. And with this partnership moving forward, I think we can have a sustainable YMCA that can continue to offer programs for the community.
So now this has been accepted by council, does this mean operations going forward will be uninterrupted? Everything will be continuing on as it is?
That is the expectation. However, there's more work to be done, and we have to emphasize that. There's a lot of work to turn this around, and we're working closely with all of our partners from stated Y Ontario, Y Canada, City, and of course Y staff.
Okay, well, what specifically is the next step here now that this has gotten approval?
Yeah, we have to make sure that we abide by and complete our regulations for the sale of the building and the lease back. So we have some steps that we have to accomplish before the ending of 90 days.
Yeah, and from an operations perspective, staff has been incredible throughout this entire process, and they will have a large task under their hands to roll back into operating the business and reinstating memberships. Like I said, we are starting to offer summer programs again. So staff has been incredible throughout this whole process, and they'll have their hands full moving forward.
A number of questions tonight on how we got here, and what you're putting in place to make sure that this doesn't happen again. The mayor's saying that he'd like to see things like governance training, that kind of thing. What your observation on that?
Absolutely. Well, hitting back on the past, as we've stated, there has been a lot of inflation, operational costs, and post-COVID recovery. However, working with multiple partnerships in our strong stance that we have now, I think will really govern us and put us forward there. And we're more than happy to work with everyone to ensure the viability and the sustainability of our Y.
You mentioned the fact that you operate in you do confidentiality and that kind of thing. But do you not think that since serving the public or the community is part of your mandate, do you not think that that you maybe should have informed them how dire things were before you basically had to pull the trigger?
I know how frustrating it can be. However, we have to abide and uphold our confidentiality standards, our legal standards, and our human resources. So we were able to release information as we could. However, we are looking forward to secure and strong communication plans going forward with all of our partners.
You guys were here speaking from a governance standpoint. A lot of questions you weren't able to answer because they would be more better suited to the leadership. Why was the leadership not here? Why is the interim CEO not here, or somebody else from leadership?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our interim leader, John Haddock, has a number of years in the Sioux. Although he wasn't interim, this was long planned that he would transition back and off of the Sioux Y. However, we do have strong leadership just coming in now with Y Ontario, so they're just transitioning in right now. So that's why they couldn't be here today.
John's not in town. Sorry to interrupt.
Go. Was
No.
it John's final day Friday? Do I understand that right?
John Haddock's final day was Friday in the Sioux. Yes.
And
Sorry.
no problem. Part of the city's plan is to have board oversight and even the power to dissolve the board. Is that something the board has discussed yet? Is that something the board is open to?
This is something new that has come forward, which case we would have to look at Y Canada and Y Ontario. As we are an individual charity, that's not typically something that comes from it. However, we are in conversations with all partners of what would look like in terms of governance.
Yeah, and any sustainable model moving forward, in order to continue to offer the community with the supports that the YMCA offers, obviously the YMCA and our board of directors would be open to any ideas moving forward to, like I said, continue to offer services we do.
There's it was raised in a number of different ways tonight about greater transparency, and people want to see not just a renewed Y physically, the building, etc., but a renewed Y in terms of how they operate and how they communicate. You're both have long-term interests in the Y. I think, Mike, you've been a member since you were a tyke. Were there changes all along that you would now be welcome and see them come to pass? I'm not out to hang the previous admin, but is this a great time to make a number of changes across the board?
I think moving forward right now with the partnerships that have stepped forward and the community support, the YMCA is in a great position to move forward and be sustainable for a number of years.
Is the Northeastern Ontario group, the Sudbury, Timmins, North Bay group, is that a possibility? I heard that raised, but I'm not sure in what context.
We aren't able to comment on that as of right now. However, we are exploring other partnerships to make a more sustainable path forward.